Good morning and happy Saturday. I am Ellie and I am a certified yoga instructor. I am currently working with the Pink Ribbon Place and Just Yoga, a yoga studio, to bring you guys your Facebook Live Saturday morning yoga classes. So, welcome to our class for today. Before we get started, you will need your yoga mat, your yoga blanket. If you don't have a yoga blanket, you can always use a a towel, something just for the knees in case you ever need to go on the knees or anything. It's always great to have on hand. If you happen to have some, excuse me, some yoga blocks, go ahead and bring those out. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can always use some books, some the plastic Tupperware boxes, anything like that will help us. Sometimes it's just nice, again, to have these things on hand. And lastly, you will be needing a yoga strap for today's practice. If you don't have a strap, you can always use a towel to kind of use it to bring the foot closer to you. If you don't have a towel, a rope works as well. Anything really just to give a little bit more length to the arms. Go ahead and take a moment to pull all of those things if you haven't already. Today's class, we will be focusing a lot still staying on our mats. We will be getting up maybe for one or two poses, and then we're going to be coming straight back down to our mat. So it's going to be nice and sweet today. Go ahead and grab your blanket, fold it in half. We'll prep it for the side when we're ready to use it. And I want to start today's class laying down. So go ahead and take some time to get yourself down to your mat. Knees can be bent like I have mine, or you can go ahead and bring them all the way down. I'm going to take a big breath in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Last one. Inhale, filling the belly, filling the lungs. And exhaling through the mouth. Start to focus on your breath. Nice, full, controlled breath in and breath out. And as we're laying down, maybe our bodies start to get a little bit heavier. Maybe we start to melt a little bit more into our mats. Continuing to breathe in and breathe out. You're more than welcome to stay here throughout our practice. If you would like to get a little movement, you can follow me. Like always, as we begin our practice, we want to make sure we are very conscious of our bodies. We are very focused on making sure that everything that we do it carefully to avoid any injuries. Do not force your body into something if today it's not feeling it. Please remember always to honor your body. Like I said, if you want to move, go ahead and follow me. Placing both feet on the ground. Inhale, bringing hands overhead. Getting nice and tall. And bringing those hands back down. Bring those knees up towards the sky, planting your feet down about hip width distance apart. And letting the knees fall side to side. Slowly beginning to let go of any stress going on in that low back. When we're ready, coming back to center. Go ahead and hug both knees in. Give yourself a nice big hug. You've made it onto your mat today, so I'm very excited. Doing something that feels really good, especially for your low back right now that we're laying down. And when we're ready, inhale, lifting that right leg straight up in the air, and then placing it down on our mats, keeping those toes flexed and pulled back, sorry, not flexed, sorry, pulled back towards you, and keeping that left knee in. Take that right hand and place it on that right hip, and taking that left hand, placing it on that left knee, slowly begin opening up that hip to the side and making little circles one way or the other. Something that feels good. We're just checking in with the body, seeing how the joints are feeling. We're going to be working a little bit more on our hips today, so always keep that in mind as we move through our poses, as we move through our practice today. Bringing that knee back to a standstill and just taking it across the body for a gentle twist. Again, this is very early on in our class, so just something very light, something that feels sweet. Taking a deep breath in. And coming back to center. From here, taking that right knee in and left knee goes back out, or left leg goes out, left hand on the hip, and right hand on right knee, opening up that hip, and once again, making little circles one way, the other way. This side might feel a little bit different. Again, our bodies are not symmetrical, so what feels good on one side might feel a little funky, a little different on the other. Taking that right hand and placing it on your left knee, take that knee across the body. Again, for a really sweet and gentle twist. Bringing that knee back to center. Bringing that left knee in. And giving yourself one more big hug. In your own way and in your own time. Placing those knees down and coming all the way up to seated. From here, take your blanket that we've already prepped on the side and place that on your bottom, kind of half sitting on it, half not. Let it hang out with your tailbone. Here, hands on the side. Inhale, hands up. And left hand to right knee and right hand behind you. So inhale, getting nice and tall, and exhale, we're twisting. One more breath here. Inhale, getting tall, and exhale, twisting. And then as you guys can see, we are in our permanent home here at the studio. So it's nice because now we can always have our classes no matter what the weather is like. So it's very nice to have, our permanent home where we can see each other every Saturday. So inhale, hands up, and switching sides. One more breath here. Inhale, getting nice and tall, and exhale, twisting. And when you're ready, inhale, hands coming all the way up. And to heart center, go ahead and place those hands right behind you, undoing the legs, letting those knees fall side to side. And when we're ready, go ahead and switch the crossing of your legs. So normally we go with our dominant side or the side that feels better. And when we switch them, it's going to feel a little funky. But we do this just to stay in balance. From here, inhale, hands up. And bringing them down to heart center. I want you to take your hands and place them on your mat and then walk them as far forward as you can as it feels good. But what I want to do is I want you to avoid rounding your spine so you can reach further. Instead, roll those shoulders back, keeping that spine nice and straight, walking those hands forward, and just hanging out here. Again, it's still really early in our class, so we're just getting a feel for how things are feeling right now, getting a feel for, again, the hips and how everything is kind of feeling this Saturday morning. Depending if you're moving a lot throughout the week or if you're, kind of staying put at your desk, for the 40 hours that it is or more. the body's going to feel a little different. So maybe you take another deep breath and maybe you walk your hands a little bit further. Again, we're looking for, to keep that back straight as we're coming down. And when you're ready, walking those hands all the way back. Taking those hands behind you. One more time, undoing the legs and letting those knees fall side to side. You might hear some pops. Hopefully it's a good pops. I know that when I start practicing more, working on my own personal practice, I call myself just like popcorn time. I feel my hips, everything just popping all the time. I'm not even practicing yoga and I'll be popping, so it's kind of funny. Go ahead and bring those knees back in. And in your own way, we're going to go ahead and meet on hands and knees. I always like to bring my blanket to protect our knees. We only get 2 of them, so, we want to be nice to our body, to our joints. From here, hands are about shoulder distance apart. Hands are nice and spread out evenly. You can go ahead and tuck your toes like I am or leave them flat. That's a personal choice. And inhale, dropping that belly down. Exhale, rounding that spine. Inhale, coming down. I believe this is going to be your cow. And exhale, rounding the spine, coming into cat. So now if you put them together, you got cat, cow. Like always, you are welcome to take a couple more here if that's what your body needs today. If not, go ahead and join me. We're going to take that right knee and we're going to place it a little bit more in the center, finding some balance between our hands and our knee. Keeping that back nice and straight. We're going to take that left foot and we're just going to go ahead and bring it out. Kind of like, unfortunately, like a little dog, gonna go pee. Same thing. Bringing it out. You can hang out here if you'd like. If not, you can go ahead and straighten out that foot. Pushing into that mat. Activating those abs. Working your glutes. And then bending it and coming back. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Whichever option you'd like. Whichever one we are doing, we are focusing on making sure that our back is staying straight. We're not dipping into that low back. And we're really working that thigh, those glutes, all our muscles to bring out that foot to the side. From here, just switching sides. Let's just go ahead and knock it out right now. And inhale, lifting that right knee up. You can hang out here if you'd like. If you'd like a little bit more, extending that foot out, bending it, and bringing it down. 2 more at your own pace. Lifting, and bringing the foot out. Bringing it back in. And down. By this point, your muscles are probably burning. They're yelling at you. And we got 1 more, and that's it. And bringing it down. Big toes touch, knees are wide, and go ahead and send it back into your child's pose. Giving those hips a little bit of a break, a moment to catch up, your breath as well. When we're ready, inhale, coming back up to our hands and knees. Walking those hands a couple inches forward, still keeping them shoulder distance apart. You can go ahead and remove your blanket, put it to the side, and tucking those toes, hips coming up and coming up into your down dog. From here, making sure those hands are still pushing in and the hips are reaching towards the ceiling. You can take a moment to bend those knees one at a time. We call this walking the dog. We're not technically walking anywhere, but we are doing the motion of walking, which is bending our knees and bringing those heels down. It's a nice little stretch for the hamstrings, for the calves. And we're breathing. When we're ready, looking forward, just walk at your own pace all the way to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant those hands, bend those knees. Using those hands on the knees, push yourself all the way up, bringing hands up towards the ceiling and down. From here, we are coming into a balance. So I have this handy dandy wall. So I do recommend, if the balance is a little funky today, go ahead and pull yourself a chair, go up against the wall. We are going to be coming into our tree pose. So I will demonstrate it with our wall back here. We always got to adjust our pants. Every time we get to come up, it's like, oh, got to fix your pants first. So my right hand is going to be up against the wall. Make sure I am nice and grounded. All of the four little corners of my toes, my heels, everything is nice and grounded. Shoulders are rolling back. Hand can be placed on the hip. And we're going to start leaning all of our weight towards our right side. When we feel there's a significant shift in our weight, we're going to place that left foot. We're going to open up the hip and place that left heel towards our right heel. If this feels good, you can hang out here. This is great. If you want a little bit more, maybe you start reaching that foot up somewhere that feels comfortable. There is no pain. You're not pushing anything too much. And what we're really looking for is to work on opening up this hip. So if you're looking at me straight ahead, I've shifted all of my weight towards my right leg. I have propped up that left foot. And when I'm ready, I'm going to find a spot that feels really good. From here, I'm working on opening up this hip area. Instead of hanging out like this, I want to open it up. Hands can come to heart center or the hips or hand on the wall, whichever is the most comfortable for you. What we're looking for is to open up this left leg, this left hip area. And we're going to hang out here for just a moment more. When we're ready, bringing that left knee in and bringing it all the way down, shaking out that right ankle and switching sides. So switching sides, even on the wall, you want to go ahead and switch sides. When you're ready, hand at the hip, so right hand on your hip, propping up that right ankle. And when you're ready, finding that nice little sweet spot on this side as well. It always helps if, once again, the balance is a little funky, and you got your wall, you got your chair, you got whatever is helping, assisting you. It always also helps to look at something that is not moving and just kind of really focus in on that. One more breath here. And then if you're doing all this and you're still feeling a little funky, I also like to really ground my big toe of my standing foot into the mat, into the hardwood floor, wherever it is I'm working. I'm more actively bringing that big toe, dinging it further into the ground to give me a little bit more stability. When we're ready, bringing that right knee in and slowly bringing it down, shaking out that right ankle. Sorry, left ankle. I'm so sorry, left ankle. And stepping back on your mat if you were off of it. From here, inhale, bringing those hands up and folding forward. Inhale, planting those hands, and take that left foot and step it really, really far back, walking your hands towards that long side of your mat. Your feet are going to follow. And if you do happen to have blocks, this is a great time to use those blocks, depending on how tight our hamstrings are. Coming into a wide forward fold like this, it could be a lot hanging out back here with our hamstrings. So the blocks always are nice because they bring the floor up a lot closer to you. And so I think if you got books, whatever it is that you have, you can always use it to kind of bring that floor up a little higher. So blocks are our friends. From here, inhale and exhale, folding forward. Making sure that as you're folding forward, you're keeping a little bit of a micro bend in those knees if you hyperextend. And then as you begin to fold forward, Again, depending on that flexibility today, walking those hands back as you fold forward, keeping that back nice and flat. One more breath here. And when we're ready, coming back up, walking towards the front of our mat, feet are following, and we're simply stepping up, keeping those knees bent, pushing ourselves all the way up. Big inhale, exhale, coming all the way back down and stepping inhale and planting those hands, stepping that right foot all the way back, walking along the long side of your mat. Now we're on the opposite side. From here, take those right, if you can see, and once again, that block is going to come in handy if today the hamstrings are feeling a little tight. Taking your right toes, pointing them towards the corner of the right upper corner of your mat. Right hand is going to go right in front of your face. If it's, seems like a million miles away, again, the block is always very handy to bring that floor up a little closer. You're going to inhale and take that left hand towards the sky for a nice little twist here. One more breath. If, it's kind of feeling a little funky having the hand up, you can always place it on that hip as you twist towards the left side. And when you're ready, bringing that left hand back down. All we're doing is bringing those right toes back to center. Left toes are pointing out towards the left upper corner. And placing that left hand in front of our face. Inhaling, right hand coming up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, on our hip. And so you're probably going to be feeling a nice, intense stretch in that inner thigh of that left leg. When you're ready, bringing that right hand down. Go ahead and remove your block if you've had a block. Inhale, coming to the tippy fingers, and exhale, begin walking those hands to the short side of your mat. Your feet are following as well, and stepping it forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, planting those hands, bending those knees, coming all the way up. And in absolutely no fancy way, from here, go ahead and fold forward and in your own way, coming down to seated. I wish there was like a really nice and fancy way of saying these things, but sometimes it's just, I'll meet you laying down, I'll meet you sitting down, I'll meet you on our mats again. From here, coming into our last little pose, go ahead and grab your strap, and I will meet you laying down. No fancy way. There's no graceful transition there, except I'll see you on our backs on our mats. Go ahead and take your strap, bring those knees in, and place that strap on that the flat part right here, the bottom part of your left foot, grabbing it with your left hand. Right foot is going to come all the way down, and right hand is going on that hip. And we're going to have that hand on our hip just to keep ourselves from becoming ungrounded, lifting that hip up from the mat. So as we move through the pose, you'll see what's going on. So right hand on that hip, inhale, and we're going to begin taking that left foot out and opening up that hip to wherever it feels comfortable. Toes are active, pulling back on both legs. So even though we are laying down, this is still a very active pose. Breathing in. And when we're ready, taking it across the body. So switching hands and take it across the body. You're going to start to feel a really nice stretch up against your IT band here. And we're still keeping both toes active and shoulders are both, grounded into our mat. Coming back to center. From here, go ahead and hold the strap each one on each side. So again, if you have a towel, same thing, whatever it is, a rope, whatever it is that you have, we're going to be holding it one and one. Lifting up that right leg, simply place it inside, switching out that foot, and it's probably the easiest way that you can switch out the feet on the strap. So now our left foot is down, left hand is on that hip, both feet are active, and we're opening up that right side. So taking that right foot and letting it fall with control towards the right side. Breathing in. When we're ready, slowly bringing that foot back up to center, switching the hands and taking that foot across the body. Coming back up, bending that knee, and taking off that strap. Bringing those knees up towards the sky, bending them, and letting them drop side to side. Bringing them to center. You are more than welcome to stay here as we come to the end of our class. You're more than welcome to take a couple moments here if you have the privilege to just hang out and relax a little bit longer. Please, I do highly recommend you take that time for yourself. If not, if you're a little more crunched on time, you're welcome to join me seated. Closing your eyes if you'd like to, or keeping them open, whichever is your preference. So inhale, hands up, hands together, and bringing them down to heart center. Breathing in and exhaling out. Taking a couple moments to enjoy that beautiful energy that you've created, to enjoy the beautiful things that you've done for yourself today. And more importantly, to just take a moment to thank yourselves for making just a little bit of time for yourself today. I want to thank you for letting me be a part of your day, a part of your morning, a part of your practice. Please continue checking the Riverside Community Health Foundation page as well as the Pink Ribbon page for any updates. Like always, it is such a great honor to allow me to join you in your practice. Until we meet again, namaste.